Greetings, I'm your brother, Brother Minister Wasim Muhammad. Welcome to another edition of the Wasim Muhammad Show. But first, I want to take the opportunity to thank some wonderful people who allow me to present to you the Wasim Muhammad Show. I want to first thank our board president, Ms. Martha Wilson, and the rest of the board that we sat on, that I, as a member, as vice president of the Camden City School Board Advisory School Board. And I also want to thank the wonderful superintendent, Ms. Katrina McCombs, for allowing me this opportunity to present the Wasim Muhammad Show, the history of Camden and Camden County, South Jersey, and eventually the Delaware Valley. I am always so excited to broadcast because today, or this evening, if you're watching via YouTube or here on the CCSD-TV, a very interesting young man who's doing a wonderful job with our kids here in the city of Camden. Coach Rick Brunson, how's it going?
Good.
Brunson, how's it going? It's long awaited, and I want to first say congratulations on the season isn't over yet, but but you have made the Camden fans in South Jersey very proud of the work that you're doing, and if you guys didn't win another game, I think the discipline and the structure that we see with the Camden High School basketball Panthers is wonderful. So thank you. I want to say that again.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So we take this opportunity to talk to the community, let them know a little bit about Coach Brunson and who Coach Brunson is.
Well, I mean, let's start with when I got this job. It's kind of like similar to how I kind of grew up. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, you know, and then when I was 14, I basically got moved to a place called Salem, Massachusetts, north of Boston, and that's where I began my high school career. I had a pretty good high school career, I had a great high school coach, and then I decided to go to Temple. That's how I made it to this area. So I got here in Philadelphia, South Jersey area back in 1991, and I never left. So this is my home. I mean, my kids are born in Jersey, and I've been living in Cherry Hill since 96, 97.
Yes,
so I'm familiar with, obviously,
with
Camden basketball.
Yes.
And I would say I started watching it probably when, you know, obviously when Wagner started.
Yes.
But I know of the Milt Wagners and you know, the Kevin Walls and Billy Thompson, those guys, and of course you and Vic. Obviously, I played with Vic Carstafton in college, so I'm familiar with the history, and I was excited when I got the job, and I tell these kids every day, you know, when we work and when we go to practice and we go to games, you know, you played for the guys that came before us. This is a great tradition here, and I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir. We're glad to have you. And going back, you're talking about growing up in Syracuse, New York, and the Boston area. What are some of the things that your coaches instilled in you? Because you played for some wonderful coaches. Legendary coach John Chaney was an icon in you know, college basketball, and it's just a wonderful thing. And you also, as you stated, you played with the coach who you presided. He preceded you, Coach Vic Carstafton, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, playing with him, and then, you know, I guess that gave you a little more familiarity with Camden, being so close to that in Philadelphia. But how was it playing for such wonderful coaches? You talk about your high school basketball coach.
Oh, I started my high school coach, you know, and people, you know, like I wasn't a great high school player coming in. I was, you know, 5'11", whatever it was, 5'10", and when I first moved to Boston, I had obviously anger issue, attitude issues, not a good student, and I met this guy. His name is Jack O'Brien, and he was tremendous. He was a disciplinarian. He kind of took me under his wing. He didn't take no stuff, and for whatever reason, I listened to him. I couldn't tell you why. I was afraid of him. Not more so I would get in trouble. I was just afraid to let him down. He wrote this book called The Assist. So he was a legendary. He won 7, 8 state championships in Massachusetts. So that's where it started. And then when I was in high school, obviously Temple was #1 in the country. Mark Minkin was the guy. Coach Chaney was an unbelievable coach. And my first taste of Temple was in 1988. I went to Hartford Civic Center to watch them play in the NCAA tournament, Georgetown. And I just fell in love with him. And I'm like, man, I wish I could ever play there. So when I became good, but you know, a lot of people don't know, maybe they do, but I was a high school All-American. I was McDonald's All-American.
Absolutely.
And it was no, I mean, it came down between Kentucky and Temple, and I made it very clear I was going to Temple.
Yes.
I fell in love with Coach Cheney. I didn't have a father growing up.
Even practicing at 5 or 6 in the morning, I think that, because that's one thing that we always like to ask people, you know, I know that was very challenging to young men, you know, growing up, you know.
Well, I tell the story, like, so obviously we practice at 5:30, everyone knows that. But when you're, like you're a grown man, right, adult, me right now,
yes,
it sounds crazy. I ain't getting up at 5, but when you're 18, 19, you can burn the candle at both ends.
Yes.
So I tell you, when
Yes,
you're young, you're up.
Yes,
you
sir.
know? I don't care what time you get.
Yes, sir.
For 4 years I was there. People
Yes,
ask me,
sir.
what happened if you were late?
Yes, sir.
Well, what happened? I don't know. No one was ever late. So
Yes, sir.
I could never answer that question.
Yes, sir.
It was good, man. It just taught us, you know, he raised us as a man. Like, you know, so when I got to Temple, you know, he just treated us like a man, raised us like a man. He was a dad to us. He was a mentor to us. He was whatever. He was everything to us. So we respected him, obviously. To this day, we talk to him, all of us. And he made me who I am today. I mean, people say I coach like him, I act like him.
Yes,
so
sir.
I take that as a compliment.
Yes, sir. And I think that's great. And talk to a little bit about, when you were at Temple, some of the things that I see that you instilled in the young men. I see that it was your game style because, like you said, I want to state for the audience that you also was a McDonald's All-American. That's a great feat. And you also coached a son who was did a wonderful basketball career at Villanova and playing in the area that's doing well in the NBA. And I know that makes you feel like a proud dad. It makes you feel proud in working with other people's children. How do we fill that in to this discussion and talking about, you know, great things for the Camden community?
So it's simple for me. Like, I raise or I coach everyone's kid as if they're my own.
Yes.
Like, that's how I was taught by Coach Cheney. That's how I deal with my own son. And that's what I do to the Camden community. And I talk, you know, I spoke to every parent.
Yes.
You know, I try to be as fair and honest as I can to
Yes,
the kids, to the parents. And it's a difficult task, but I think I will hope most of our kids believe in me because at some point throughout the year since I got the job, they've seen the way that I treat them or try to help them in any aspect. It's more than basketball. We do things off the court that no one knows, you know, whether we're going to dinner, whether we're hanging at lunch, whether they're cracking jokes. So I just try to be there for them. My phone, every time I get a text or a phone call, I answer for my kids, you know, so we just try to communicate. But the great thing is, like, I tell them I get more joy out of coming to Camden and coaching than I do, you know, watching my son play for the Dallas Mavericks. And
Yes.
I do. I mean, it's nerve-wracking watching your son play, but like coming here and teaching kids who want to be taught, it's a joy for me. And I had a joy with my own son, and now I got a joy with 12 other kids now.
Now, this is your first time coaching high school basketball because you have a robust, you know, coaching career. You coached in the NBA, you coached in college. And what is the difference in transition and coaching? Because I know, and having a discussion with you before, you know, that bite, you know, being a former educator, that bite of dealing with children can bite you and take a hold of you, and it just gets up in your skin, and you know, you treat every kid as if they're yours, and you're passionate about it. And I remember having a conversation with you one time, and I said, well, he's bit by that, and he's done now. It's going to be hard not to deal with these kids on this level. So what is the difference in that? And what is it that drives you in working with high school children rather than kids in college level or men in the NBA?
So I tell people, so like in the NBA, like, you're considered a coach, but you're managing people's time. That's the difference.
Yes.
College, you're managing people's egos
Yes.
and their dreams and their goals to get to the NBA.
Yes, sir.
In high school, I tell our kids this now. This is the last place that people genuinely love you.
Yes.
After that, it becomes a business.
Yes, sir.
Like I tell them, I love you guys. Like,
Yes, sir.
this is the last stop. After
Yes,
this,
sir.
it's not fun. It's a business.
Yes, sir.
And here, you get the purity of the kids, and when you talk to them, they believe in you, right? And so I try to be as honest as I can, but also try to motivate. I have a responsibility to the parents. I have a responsibility to those kids, and like it's fun. Like, you know, it's just more than coaching. I'm a social worker. I'm a dad.
Yes,
I'm an uncle. I'm a brother. Like, the high school is so many dynamics to deal with. But I enjoy it. I love it.
Yes,
It's something that I take very serious. It doesn't bother me. Do I get stressed? Yeah. Do I get upset at certain things? Of course.
Yes.
Do parents bother me? Of course.
It's part of the process.
It's part
Yes,
of it.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mind.
Yes, sir. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back because there's some things that you said I would like to, go into about this coaching job. But as you're sitting there, take your time. Don't go nowhere. Let someone know the Wasim Muhammad show is on, and we'll be back with Coach Rick Brunson here in a few minutes. And we are back, and sitting here having a candid conversation with Coach Rick Brunson, and we're talking a little bit about, your background coaching and your background, and also, you also, as you talk about things that you do, you also are teaching at Camden High School, and I think that is big. That I want to say that we in the Camden community, and being a board member and being a former Camden Panther as well too, that I know how fortunate we are to have someone of your caliber to be here with our kids. Camden has went through some different coaching strategies over the years, and to be here. But how is it, I know that Coach Clarence Turner, who coached us, is legendary here in Camden, he also was a teacher. And his effect wasn't just on the basketball players, his effect was on the students in the community. How is that transition over at Camden High School, and how does the children there treat you, and what you think about that?
So first, I don't want to take anything away from those great teachers over there. I'm a substitute.
Yes, sir.
They do a great job over at Camden High. But in all seriousness, so I feel like in order to get through to young men, you got to be with them as much as you can. I didn't feel like, I know the best coaches that I ever had was the ones that were always around. So I didn't want to come to practice from 4 to 6 for 2 hours out to 24 hours out the day, yell or scream and go home, and that was it.
Yes.
I felt like if I was in school, I felt like if I can touch them, the students and the players, and be around, that I can get more out of them. And I think in order to be a great coach, right, you have to have a great relationship with your players. I don't care how old they are, right? So it was important for me to be in the building, so they knew I was there. So if there was a problem, I was there. If they wanted to talk, I was there. And I want to know kind of how they live, how their life was. I want to know if they're having a bad day. We have a rule in practice: come up to me, coach, I ain't got it today.
Yes, sir.
Go home.
Yes,
come back tomorrow. We all got problems.
Yes, sir.
And especially living like in
urban
and how we live.
Yes,
right. Like I tell people all the time, those, no disrespect to those other schools, they can just coach.
Yes,
we got it's more. We got feed. We got to cuddle.
Go ahead.
We got
Yes,
to hug God. We got to do a lot.
Counsel,
So I tell them, like, if you're having a bad day, just go home. I'm good with come back tomorrow, but you better come back with a whole bunch of energy and excitement.
Yes, sir.
Right? You can't have 2 bad days in a row.
Yes, sir.
So if we have guys call me, coach. It's just not today. My mom. I didn't eat or what. Stay home.
Yes, sir.
Come back tomorrow. So
Yes,
it's fun. It's fun. I got to know the students now. I mean, every code they yell my name in the hallway. I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. So.
Yes, sir. What do you think about the Camden kids? What can you honestly say? I know sometimes our children may get a bad rap as far as mainstream media, but we know the difference when we walk in our community and walk with our kids, and I think sometimes giving them a great shout out is more helpful than anything,
Well, we forget that they're kids, I hear all the time, you hear Camden, it's like, whoa, like it's trouble or whatever. And I was just telling you on the way over here, like, what ticks me off is when I go to other schools and we get ready for the game, they got like 55 security guards.
Yes.
For what? Like, we haven't had any trouble this year. Our fan base is unbelievably great. They don't act a fool. Our players are respectful, disciplined, play hard, shake hands, and we go home.
Yes.
and our students, you know, who can get to the games, because the problem is we can't even get our students to the game, so we don't have rowdy students.
Yes, sir.
But the student body, it's been great. But you know, they're kids, man, and they're learning. They make mistakes. What we try to do, or I try to do with our players, and even the students in the hallways, like, just don't make the same mistake. You know, all the time. Like, make a mistake, learn from it. But remember, they're kids, and so yeah, they're having a bad rap. But you know, that's just the local media or the people who wish bad on our community. But you know, we just try to overcome it, and it's one kid, one student, one player at a time.
Yes, sir. But I know this year, as we're going to talk about, we're going to get into some of the players, and you have the opportunity to coach some wonderful players that's doing a great job. I know as coaching is in the middle of the season, I know you don't want to get into where the accolades at, because you want to assess yourself at the end of the years. But you coached some great guys, and you talked about some great kids. I had a conversation just last night with the superintendent as we were at our board retreat that we had. And that's why I showed up the game. I got there third quarter. And but she was saying how at some of her roundtables that she was surprised how respectful some of the young men that play basketball were. You know, sometimes athletes get this reputation, and she was surprised at how respectful and candid and soft-spoken many of them are. So coaching, as brother Lance Ware's having a great season this year, who already committed with Kentucky. How's it the transition in coaching him and coming in with the first year, how that has been? I know the community wants to know that. How have you gotten the best out of Lance Ware?
Again, I have no magic potion. All I can tell people is you got to gain a relationship with the kid, whoever the kid is. Get to know them, understand them. Like when they're having issues, like why? Ask those questions to yourself. Try to get into their head, into their shoes, right? And then you try to work with them. And that's all. And then you motivate them. Like everyone sees me, everyone thinks I'm crazy, right? On the sideline, so I'm yelling and screaming. But I have a theory. You strive for perfection, knowing you're never gonna reach it.
Yes, sir.
And that's how I coach. That's how I teach. That's how I parent. And Lance has been. And at the end of the day, whether it's Lance, whether it's Taekwon, DZ, all the players, all the kids, like they deserve all the credit because they buy into what I'm selling them. So like I'm giving them the blueprint, but that don't mean they have to take it.
Yes, sir.
So the credit, I say it about my own son. Like those people deserve the credit. The people that's receiving it and trying to change it and do it. I'm just trying to make them understand what life is going to be, especially for Lance. As you know, he's going to the SEC, Kentucky. He's going to be won't be the player of the year, South Jersey, to going to Kentucky. That all those guys are player of the year. Some of them McDonald's All-American.
Yes, sir.
And so no one cares where you come from.
Yes,
now
sir.
when you get there, you're at the bottom. Now you're on your way up. So.
Yes, sir. And I can see that grittiness that you have with those young men, because it also kind of reminded me of myself. I wasn't that talented in the play. I played with a bunch of All-Americans, so all I had to do was distribute a rock to get myself, on the map. And, I see that in watching, when they were talking about you were coming here, I began to watch more of your son so I could get an idea of your coaching style. Because, how was it to get that idea transferred? I know you give the credit to them, but do you accredit that to your upbringing and, because you coach, like you have military parents,
So, like,
yes,
my mom, I came from a single parent. My mom raised 5 kids by herself. She was, never made excuses, always went to work, disciplined us.
Yes.
She had time to discipline us after we came home from work. I had great coaches, but it really comes from home. It comes from my mom. We never made excuses. She always went to work. She always worked hard. It was never nobody else's fault. And that's why I try to instill in these kids, just like you gotta stop saying, well, I didn't have a chance, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. This game can take you around the world. This game can change your life.
Yes, sir.
And not just playing professionally, it can get you a job.
That's right.
It can get you a scholarship to get an education, which we all need.
Yes, sir.
Without basketball, I don't think I went to college.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's 5 of us in my family.
Yes, sir.
I was the only one at the time who went and graduated college.
Yes, sir.
You know, my two sisters went after me.
Yes, sir.
And my older sister just graduated at 50.
Mm.
You know?
Yes, sir.
So, like, I wasn't, like, it was like a lot of these kids don't see college in their future. Like,
Yes,
I play at Camden High, and then that's it. And I'm
Yes,
like, nah, we got a kid on the team, Rodney. You know Rodney,
Mm.
he's on the JV. He wants to be a barber. So, like, I'm like, nah, we're going to get a barber shop.
Go
We
ahead.
own it.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
think bigger than, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So we just try to, I mean, I come from, I'm not going to sit there and try to paint a picture. I'm just, look, we all got stories. I tell them everyone got a story,
Yes, sir.
all right? All right, but you can change that story.
Yes, sir.
And then when you change it, your little brother, your cousin, your sister, then they're going to change. They're going to follow you.
Yes, and one reason why I say that, because I think you are helping to change the narrative. You know, there's a saying that this generation of kids, you can't coach in the old style. You know what I mean? And you know, and it was a time when you saw that, and little league coaches say that. But I think you changing that. I think you changing that narrative, and I think that tells us that we're going in the right direction. You know?
It's funny you say that, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I still believe, I'm like, you can't coach these kids. Like, you know, they're all babies. They're always complaining.
Yes, sir.
But I'm not changing. And I tell them every day, I'm not changing. I think the great John Chaney told me, you have to teach through monotony.
Yes,
so I
sir.
tell them every day,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to repeat myself. I'm never going to get tired of saying the same thing.
Yes,
You
sir.
guys will get tired before me.
Yes,
But, you know, they are, it's funny, like, I'm a hard-nosed disciplinarian,
Yes,
like,
sir.
do it this way and be unselfish about it, and you be fine in life. I just think it's simpler that way.
Yes, sir. Well, I was this past Sunday game in that a very exciting game that you're playing against at Wildwood
Exciting to
Catholic.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who's watching? Who's not stressing anymore? I understand that. And also, I was there with a prominent pastor in this area, and we had left. You know, of course, our services on Sunday, so we got there, and he came by. We said, we're going to go to Camden High basketball game. And it was his first game of the season, and he's a former Turner burner as well too. And he's also a pastor at a church in Delaware. And his very first encounter that he saw, soon we got to the game, you called timeout. And the future of Camden High basketball, which is exciting with DJ Wagner, you called timeout and laid him out. And, you know, us pastors, you know, discipline, you know, because coaching is another form of pastoring and ministry as we look at it. And those of us who know understand. And he said, I like this guy already. He said, because if he can do that, you know, that was something special. And, you know, that's special. Talk a little bit about that, because I know the community, you know, everybody's excited. And I think DJ Wagner is exciting to watch. I know his grandfather, of course, his father and his family. You know, it's very exciting to watch, and to see that happen. No, we all know that he's in the best hands to get the best out of him, so that he can always get redirected to be the best that he can and is going to be as the future lies.
Well,
Yes,
hey, it's funny, like when you coaching. For me, sometimes I don't even see a face.
Yes, sir.
I see they all know I coach everybody the same. So like, whether it's DJ or whether it's Rodney, a guy who's on the bench, I coach hard. And if
Yes,
I
sir.
see, like, so this is my thing. I'm trying to change how we're viewed, and also in terms of, I'll also try to change
Yes, sir.
how they play. Right? They say all the time, black kids, they're athletic, but they don't think.
Correct.
Well, I said the first day, every day on the board, we're 22-1, so there's 23 games, right? I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
good at math, right? Every day on the board for every game, play hard, play smart, play together.
Yes,
I say that every game, because we're not known to play with our head,
yes,
and that's what I try to instill into all our guys. So, DJ,
yes, sir.
first play the game, the best shooter in the state,
Yes, sir.
he leaves them. You're not playing with your head,
Yes,
so
sir.
that tells me you ain't into it. So
Yes,
if
sir.
I gotta spark you up real quick,
Yes, sir.
I'm known to call timeout the first possession.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. And he said, I like this guy already, and that was great. And also my son actually played for you too, and he gets in the game, and I see you stop and where that, I don't care, you guys up by 40 or 50, you stop and say, come here, let me talk to you, and that kind of grit we can appreciate as parents.
Brother, like,
and fans.
after this is over with, after high school, most of them, some gonna go on, some not. Some ends in high school, but you get to the real world, which when you turn 18, you
Yes.
know, it hits you. And I say this to our kids, whether you're in college, whether you go to job, I want people to say Camden basketball players are prepared for whatever.
Yes, sir.
Right? I don't want you to go to a job and say, well, how come this guy got a raise and I didn't? Were you gonna quit?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
you just got to keep fighting through. When you go to Kentucky and you sit on the bench, right? Let's say you don't play as a freshman.
Yes.
Are you gonna quit?
Yes.
Because I experienced that.
Yes,
And we
sir.
can go right into this now. People don't even know, I backed up Vic Carstaford.
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
McDonald's All-American, and Vic is a junior. So I'm like, I'm better than Vic in my mind.
Yes.
But I wasn't.
Yes, sir.
So people don't even know. I transferred. I left Temple for 2 weeks. I went to Boston College.
That's good.
Because I think, oh, I'm better than Vic. Because I wanted something handed to me. I didn't work for it.
Yes, sir.
Vic, Eddie Jones, Aaron McKee talked me into coming back. Vic.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
he could have told me to stay away.
Yes, sir.
So I come back and, the next year, Vic breaks his leg 3 games into the season.
Yeah.
That's how I played. I would
Yes,
never
sir.
play.
Yes, sir.
So my experiences, and I try to teach these kids, yo, don't run. Just keep working, keep working, keep
Yes,
working.
sir.
Because you never know when your number's gonna be called.
Yes,
You gotta
sir.
be ready.
That's right. We're going to take a break on that break. That's a great conversation. And we need to get into more of that because I'm pretty sure the community want to know those great stories as you have had a great opportunity to tell a story. And we hope that you're listening and that we can gain. There's so much you can get from athletics when it comes to playing basketball. I know some people in the community and outside of our community try to change the narrative into this thing called jock, but there's so much you can get out of life when it comes to athletics and put it together in life. So don't go nowhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back, and we're back with Coach Rick Brunson of Camden High School Panthers basketball team. As you can see, we have a candid conversation. And I don't think Camden is going to allow you to get away with telling some of those great stories that you have. Is there any other stories that you know that can impact young people that you can talk to them about, examples of things that you did in growing up that you can share with the community of Camden? You know, I know most of the educators want me to go right into this. What is the importance of education when it comes to basketball? So we can cover all the bases. And I don't want to get destroyed by them, you know.
No,
yes, sir.
So again, it's like how I coach, how I teach is how I was raised, and the things that I went through. So there's nothing new to me. So for instance, I tell the kids this. I wasn't a great student. I got held back. I was a D student, and in New York, in New York at the time, when you got in trouble, you didn't get suspended. You get paddled. I don't know if they did that in Jersey, but New York, they had the paddles, and I used to hate going to see the principal. I was always in trouble, and I just wasn't a good student. So I can relate to our kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, even I was a C student at best. Wasn't a great reader. Wasn't good at math. I was always that kid that sat in the back of the classroom. Never wanted to get called on to read out loud. Always had my hat low, trying to hide. But I was a good athlete. But what I did, and I learned this from my high school coach, I did every homework assignment. Mm-hmm. I stayed after class, met with the teacher for extra help. Mm-hmm. I never missed school. Mm-hmm. I did everything that I could control. Mm-hmm. I could control, passing tests. I could study all I want. I just wasn't good at it.
Yes, sir.
So that made me a C student. All right, that's just facts. Mm-hmm. I go to college. I had the same dreams everybody else. Oh, I'm going to NBA. I don't need this, man. Mm-hmm. So I barely went to class, right? Yes, so I leave Temple in '95 with no college degree, didn't get drafted, and I'm like, wow, what am I doing now? What's going on? Luckily, 2 years I played in the minor leagues and finally get my first shot at playing in the NBA. I played 9 years in the NBA, if no one knows, right? And I could get back to that. I want to stay on the education part. I remember having a conversation with my wife, and she was like, well, how are you going to tell your son to go to school or to graduate or go to school? And you didn't. So at 30 years old, I said, you know what, man, I need to go, start something. And I remember Coach Cheney said, if you guys don't finish your degree, then don't come back and talk to me. So we couldn't even have a conversation. Yes. So at 30, I went back to Temple. It took me 2.5 years because I played, obviously, in the NBA. So the summertime, I was full-blown student. I took both sessions, the summer session, and when I was 33, I got my college degree, and it was like the happy. I couldn't believe, like me,
Yes, sir.
graduate. Like I couldn't read, you know.
Yes, sir.
I got a degree, so I can get a degree. You got it,
Yes,
and I say that. I'm just being honest.
Yes, sir. You talked about your wife. How important is that anchor? I don't know if you want to, and I should give you opportunity since you mentioned to talk about it, so we both don't get in trouble. You know, I know with myself, I was married in college. I always tell, you know, the community I had the shotgun wedding, but it was my father. Because my high school sweetheart, you know, became pregnant just before I was ready to leave, and my father, who was a stern disciplinarian, and said, "There's no way that you grew up in a household with both of your parents. You should do the same."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she went on to college with me, and that was my anchor. So as we experienced the college atmosphere, playing major college basketball, which you know of, you know, I always had that anchor to pull me in. How important do you think that was for you after I heard you talking about your wife stating to you, you know, being an anchor, and you want to talk a little bit about her too as well, if you don't mind.
No,
you know, okay.
of course.
Yes.
I met my wife my freshman year at Temple. She was an All-American volleyball player. I remember the first day I met her, I was like, man, I remember calling my mother, like, yo, I'm marrying this woman.
Yes.
Eventually, I'm marrying. But
Yes,
yeah, like, you know, we have two beautiful kids. She's tremendous. She always supported me.
Yes.
You know, people look at my kids and say, "Oh, you did a great job," and I say this all the time. Like, she did a great job. She was basically a single parent. I'm on the road playing, you know,
Yes,
traveling, and she did a great job. You know, we always laugh. I did the basketball part, but she did everything else.
Yes,
you
sir.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, she's the one that encouraged me to go back to school. She's the one that helped me graduate. You know, it's a joke in the family that she has 2 degrees. But, you know, she's great. You know,
Yes,
she's
sir.
supportive of me. You know, at Camden High right now, she went and bought her gear, got her chair.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
so she's all in. But we've been through ups and downs. It's well documented. I'm a public figure. Everyone knows the things that I've been through in life. And she stood next to me. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, it's just great. And like, I ain't going nowhere, and hopefully she ain't.
Yes, sir.
We've been married 20 plus years.
Yes, sir. We always do that. Yes, sir. I said, hope I get him in trouble, you know what I mean? And I think that's important because I too was married while in college at 18, and it really, really helped me to become the man that I am and the anchor that I am and the family man I'm still striving to become, as we all, you know, it's relationships. And relationships is built on any kind of a coaching relationship, professional relationships, and relationships always you work through them, so we can appreciate that. And, you know, I also hear you talk about, you know, coaching in college. You said it earlier that is more of ego, coaching egos. Can you talk a little bit about that? So kids that's not only going to basketball and transition, how can we equate that to students who's leaving or may go from college to in locally, you know, drive home from college or living on a college campus? How can we transfer that and make that, you know, something that we can give them on not just athletics and coaching athletics, you know, the egos of everybody being an All-American. Now, once you come to college, you're just a regular player and you have to make your way. Tie all that in together if you can.
So I'm a big believer in, like, you need education, right? And the higher the education, the better your life can be, right? You get a high school diploma, like, only so much you can do in terms of helping your family and try to reach your ultimate goals, which is to take care of your family. And it goes up, right? You get a bachelor, a master's, a doctorate, whatever it is. And so I try to tell, and it don't matter where you go to school, like Kentucky or Rutgers, Camden. Right?
Yes, sir.
You needed some type of education. And to me, it just takes that one kid in that family to get it. And then he can help push his family to stop it. And then you stop the cycle.
Yes.
I stopped my cycle.
Yes, sir.
My mother had 5 kids, right? 5 different fathers. My sister got, you know, and I'm an open book.
Yes, sir.
My sister got 4 kids, 4 different fathers.
Yes.
Right? My younger sister got married, 3 kids, her husband. I get married, 2 kids. Right? Now she has a kid that plays basketball in college, right? And I have one kid that graduated and one kid that's in college. So at some point it has stopped your cycle, and that's what I try to promote to our kids. Dream all day.
Yes.
But the reality is, make sure you go get education. And we can go to my own child, my son. He was an All-American. He's the first player in history of Villanova to graduate in 3 years as an athlete, let alone being college player of the year.
Yes,
he
sir.
did it in 3 years.
Yes, sir. That's remarkable.
Because you got to get it, because at some point, this all stops. At 35, basketball's over.
Yes, sir.
No matter what you do, you go overseas, all the money, it stops. So
Yes,
from
sir.
35 to whatever age, 65, right? You got to do something.
Yes,
You got
sir.
to work.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how much money you got. You just gonna wake up and just
Yes, sir.
not do anything. So to me, it's very important. And we got a kid, man. I want to talk about him. Frisbee.
Yes, sir.
He should be the model of what Camden's about.
Yes, sir.
He's the president of our senior class. He plays basketball.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable kid.
Great kid.
Unbelievable
Yes,
student.
sir.
But he has drive. Like, yo, coach, can you do me a favor? What? Can you drive me to Hampton? I want to go see the university. Like, who does that?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
Let's go. We get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, we going.
Yes, sir.
Because he has drive. He wants, I want to do something different.
Yes, sir.
And I talk about him all the time.
Yes, sir.
Is he one of our best players? No. But he has drive and he knows what he wants in life, and I support him.
Yes, sir. Great kid. Great
Great
kid. I
kid.
know. Let's talk a little bit about your NBA career. I know you playing. We can't take the opportunity because that's remarkable as we talk about Black history. You know, you're a part of that. You know, Black men is doing amazing things and continue to do amazing things because I know you played with the Knicks with my former teammate Luke Longley of the Chicago Bulls. Let's talk a little bit about your NBA career and you know, being that person, as you said, that played for 9 different teams. Talk a bit about that.
So, and again, I take what happened to myself in the NBA and I just transfer it to my high school team, culture, right? And I teach those guys. So, again, I'm proud of this. I'm the only player in the history of the NBA to play 9 years on 9 non-guaranteed contracts. And if you don't know what that means, it's when you try out for a team and you make it, it don't get cut. So I was cut 6, 7 times before I made it. Once I made it, I never got cut. But so like, I made it my first year, come back, I got to try out again. I was playing for the Knicks in 1999. We go to NBA Finals. They bring the whole team back. We lost to the Spurs in 6 games. Bring the whole team back. Like we got a chance to win it. And everyone got guaranteed contracts at me.
Yes.
I had to try out, I had to make the team again.
Yes, sir.
You know, so like, was it a struggle? Was it stressful? Yeah. I wouldn't change it. It taught me to have drive. It taught me how to work. You know, I have this bracelet. I don't have it on today, but all my kids have them. They all wear them. It says the magic is in the work. Make them wear it.
Yes, sir.
So I was a bench player. So I value what my bench brings, and I believe that. Now, you can't win a championship unless your weakest link is tied into what you're doing.
That's right.
And so, like, when our guys go in the game, the bench guys go in, I'm on my guys about, yo, you better get up and root, because they're here all day rooting for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I was that guy, rooting.
Yes, sir.
And I remember my son just broke, this is crazy. I played 9 years. My son played 1.5 years and just broke my scoring record.
Yes,
that I had.
sir. Yes, sir.
That means I didn't score a lot.
Yes.
So that tells you how bad I was.
Not hardly. I think the amazing career as we watched, and as I was watching you guys from the West Coast, man, and you talk about playing with Vic, who is now our councilman here in the city of Camden, and you guys still keep in touch, still talk,
Vic probably tired of me, man. I call Vic every morning at
Yes,
7:30 on the way to school,
Yes,
and
sir.
after every game. People don't know that me and Vic have a great relationship. He's my mentor. As we say, he's my old head.
Yes, sir.
He's talked me off the ledge where I'm ready to kill certain people. Or
Yes, sir.
I don't understand this referee or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Vic is the most calmest person I ever meet.
Yes, sir.
Like, his heart is huge. We talk all the time, probably every day.
Yes, sir.
And he's been great to me. He tells me the dynamics of Camden basketball,
Yes, sir.
or I shouldn't be doing certain things, or how I should be talking or reacting. And so he's been great to me. So yeah, that's just. And then college, man, like, we battled every day. I backed him up,
Yes,
but
sir.
we had a genuine relationship. He helped me. Like, he didn't like get out of here. Like, I don't want. He would like tell me how to become a great college player.
Yes,
So
sir.
I got a lot of respect for Vic. I'm happy for Vic. and I root
Coach,
for him.
and also Coach at Temple now. You play
Aaron
McKee,
all of us, yeah.
Yes, so all of you guys are doing wonderful things. It's
Mhm.
great to see that. But we don't hear too much about the one that used to play for the Lakers.
Eddie.
Eddie, is he in the area?
He's one of those guys I just talked about. He's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
He signed a big $100 million contract, so he wakes up and does nothing. He's an exception.
Yes.
He's in Miami.
Yes,
So.
living in the sun. Yes, well, we're gonna take a break on that one. That's some great stuff, great conversation, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I do. There's nothing like the lively art of conversation, so don't go nowhere. We'll be right back with Coach Rick Brunson. Welcome, we're back, and I am so grateful to sit here and talk with Coach Rick Brunson of Camden High School as we have this candid conversation and bring up a lot of memories of what, basketball, being a student athlete can do for many of us in our community, how we inspire, how athletes inspire so many people, and we know that we live in a community where, a lot of times we can get exploited, and how do you keep the players anchored and keep all the, exploitation that goes on and, and in the black community, period. And this is not just, we don't relegate this to athletics. Just a lot of exploitations, a lot of challenges that our young people have. What do you do to keep that in this proper perspective?
So when I first got the job, I didn't, it's hard to walk in and say, we're going to change the culture, because you're disrespecting the people that came before us. So,
yes,
so I said I want to, increase the culture, add to it.
Yes, sir.
So first and foremost, it's all about, it's us. It's never about you, the individual. If we win, we all get what we want out of the deal. So it comes to I made a rule, no one talks to me except the seniors, right? Because an example, first game of the season, headline, Wagner and company. So now you're separating our team. And that's what Bickering comes in, right? So Lance and Frisbee are our spokesperson for the team. So I just try to remind every kid, every guy, it's about us, not about you. And they all bought into it. That's why we're 22-1. Everyone's buying into it. Do we have lapses? Yes, of course. Is the crowd, and I never experienced this, coaching? Yeah. And did I have to tell them a few times? I got this. Are they yelling, shoot, don't do this, don't? Yeah. And I always say, when we call time, don't listen to the crowd, listen to me.
Go ahead.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Because they're passionate. It's not like they're trying to
correct.
go against me. They're just passionate.
Yes, sir.
You don't get that
sir.
From high school crowd. So we just try to stay focused on our task. And our goal is obviously to win the state championship.
Yes.
And I always tell people, we got 4 freshmen. When we're seniors, we're going to be great. No, we're going to be great now.
Yes, sir.
Because we may not become seniors. You just never know.
Yes, sir.
And so we just try to promote that.
With that point there, I think that that's another key point. Of course, your 2 newcomer freshmen, point guard and backup point guard, unfortunately, there's some challenges with injuries, but yet you guys keep going on. I think that's a talking point that we must say, because I don't see mainstream media, talking about that you guys, it's like Camden survives a scare and all this, but not recognizing that the camaraderie of the team is broken when the point guard is broken. Your point guard, that's devastating, and but we are expecting to see him back soon, correct?
Yeah, so Sion just got a text this morning. He's cleared by the doctors, but I'm going to sit him out another 3 or 4 days. He's not going to play tomorrow. He'll play Monday. I want to see him practice. Sebastian, unfortunately, right now doesn't look like he's coming back. He got a foot injury, but he's doing well. He's working, getting his rehab in. But again, it's what we talked about. It's about us, right? We got talent, right?
Yeah.
So if one goes down, the next person comes up, and that's why I said I coach the way I coach, because I said this: we're gonna have injuries, we're gonna have sickness, we're gonna have maybe a suspension. Hopefully, we don't have any of that, right? And we gotta have our guys step up, whether it's the next person, whether it's the DJ playing bigger than what he usually plays, whether it's Lance playing bigger. And when we teach that and we promote that as a staff, then when you go into these games, when we're missing somebody, we don't miss a beat. Now, if we had Sion or Sebastian, you know, I can't see us being in an overtime game.
Yes, sir.
I'll be honest.
Yes, sir.
We're good.
Yes, sir.
But if it was the other team, they're making excuses. We don't.
Yes,
We
sir.
have not talked about it. No one has mentioned it. Yesterday,
Exactly.
report is
That was
actually,
interesting.
are we peaking? I said,
Yes,
how
sir.
can we peak and our best or our point guard is not playing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No one even mentioned it.
Mention that.
But
Yes,
if when they lose to us,
Correct.
we missed this person, we missed that person.
Correct. Yes, sir.
We're missing our starting point guard who is actually going this way.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know?
sir. Remarkable. It's great to see these young guys grow as they're growing. We got to talk about last season. You know, Taekwon Woodley, who I call this version of Doc Lee. And I know you know Doc Lee, been around in Camden, and you know, he's doing a remarkable job. And I think we have to take an opportunity. You know, I think you can best talk about
So-
the job that he's doing this year and keeping him focused on the court. Beautiful kid, beautiful heart.
Taekwon, you know, is misunderstood. All right, a lot of it he brought on himself. So when I first got a job, everyone said, including yourself, gotta help this kid.
Yes,
Gotta save this kid, right? So that was my goal. Like,
Yes, sir.
so he can't be as bad as they're saying he is.
Yes,
This
sir.
guy's not crazy.
Yes, sir.
So I go to games. And I'm like, he's like helping people. He's like the greatest teammate. You
Yes,
ask
sir.
any of those guys,
Yes,
he's a
sir.
great teammate. Taekwon gets in the way of himself, right? But again, it goes back to what I was saying. You have to get in the mind of him. Why? What's going on? Something ain't right. Is he not eating? Is he home? Is he going to bed right?
Yes,
What's
sir.
bothering him?
Yes, sir.
And we as a staff, we as a community, and I'm talking about, you know, the people like, Miss Hall that's in his life, or,
Correct.
Avis Satterfield that's in his life, his
Yes,
guidance
sir.
counselor, myself, teachers, whoever gets in his head and understands him, we can help him. And I think we as a community did it, but not me, it ain't my credit. It's we got to understand them. And he allowed us
Yes,
to
sir.
help him, and he's taking baby steps. Does he have lapses? Of course.
Yes, sir.
He's a kid.
He's a young man. That's right.
He's 6'9",
Yes,
so
sir.
he's like a man, but he's a child.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Without him, we're not
Yes,
20,
sir.
we're not 22.
I mean,
that's
it's,
his fact.
it's the ultimate of it takes a village to raise a child, an
Yeah.
African proverb. I think that is what it is, because I didn't know his grandfather. I want to give him a shout out. He just lost his grandfather, Greenie Stokes. I didn't know that was his grandchild.
Wow.
And Greenie was the same kind of beautiful heart of his grandson.
Mhm.
And the community is going to miss him. He's a Whitman Park legend out there.
Wow.
The kind of guy that you can take in your house and clean your house, and you can leave the house and come back, and he wouldn't. He was a great guy, and I see that potential in Taekwon.
Yeah.
In that family tree. So that's a wonderful thing. That's a great thing. And you got some other great players on the team that's playing. Brewer, kid, when we gotta focus all the time, make you focus and do great things. But I love when you get up in their face, you talk to them, because they gotta understand the world that we live in. That may not be kind to you, and you gotta take the good and bad and ugly with it. And I appreciate that, and I know the community do. And you may get some parents that have some issues and some things, but the larger community is talking great conversation about your coaching and what you're doing with those kids. I want you to know that, from the community, because we hear the community talk all the time.
Well, I appreciate it, but honestly, I'm not going to change, because I feel like the kids want me to be this way.
Yes.
They bring this out in me, the energy that I have. They respond in a positive manner, so I'm not going to stop. If I felt like they weren't responding, then I'll slow down.
Yes, sir.
If I snap on them or I get at them and they respond, I think I'm doing the right thing. And I go, even like Nafi, your son, like, I've been here since June 10th. Like, he rarely misses practice. He comes in, he works. He don't play the minutes that he probably would want to play, but he still gives me effort. He's a great coachable kid. Doesn't say too much. Doesn't say anything back to me, obviously.
Yes, sir.
And so to me, he responds. So if he can respond, who not playing a lot, then why can't Woodley act the way he acts? Why can't you know, DJ, why can't I get in those guys? So I just think as a whole, all the kids, all right, respond in a positive manner. And a lot of people come to games, and I say this, and they see me, you know, yelling and screaming, and they're like, wow, that guy's rough. Well, come to practice.
Yes, sir.
Before you judge me, come to practice.
Yes, sir.
And then you will see the difference. You see a
Yes,
smile,
sir.
you see me laughing, joking.
Yes, sir.
In practice.
Yes, sir.
But in the game, it's time to win, so let's go.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate the fact too that my other younger sons that love to get on the bus.
They're my coaches.
They
get trained.
Yes, sir.
They help me coach.
Because it reminds me of me, and that was me with my older brother, with those guys in the 70s. That's why I had so much relationship with the late Wayne Smalls, Billy Copes, Kevin Walls, and Milt Wagner, involved, of course, of all of that. And last but not least, as we kind of wind down, you know, the community is not going to let you get away without talking about, you know, we're making history right now with the Wagner family. And how has that been, coaching the Wagner family and trying to prepare a kid that has so much promise in the future to keep him level? He's a great kid, you know, and you can see it in his plan. But we want to hold what we want to say about him because we all want him to succeed and do well.
So, what I can say about this is, it's simple. With DJ, all I have to do with DJ is coach him. I ain't got to be his father.
Yes,
I ain't got to be his mentor. I ain't got to be a social worker.
Yes, sir.
Like, you know, other kids on the team, I have to do that. It's part of my job.
Yes, sir.
So that's a tribute to his parents.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, Sharita and Wanda.
Yes, sir.
Like, they do that part. Discipline.
Yes,
like,
sir.
the guy's respectful. He's coachable. I get on him.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
We joke about him because he gets his rage where he walks around like. But
Yes, sir.
at the end of the day, he's 14 years old.
Yes, sir.
He's the best freshman in the United States.
That's
one of the best players in the country.
Yes,
right? And hopefully, he will be. And I don't know. And they have to look this up. I think they'd be the first family to have 3 McDonald's All-American.
Correct. Yes,
right?
sir.
And I don't want to put. And it's like you don't put pressure on greatness.
Correct.
It's not pressure.
Correct.
Pressure when you can't feed your kids.
Correct.
He ain't got no pressure. All you
Yes,
gotta do is come to the gym and work.
Yes,
He's
sir.
gonna be great.
Yes,
You
sir.
know? But man, he's a joy to coach. Wani is great as a dad, and I tell him all the time. I said, now you feel what I felt watching my son.
Yes,
Now
yes,
you see it.
because you can't get
I look
him to
over
do
and he's
it.
like
Yes,
doing the
sir.
mud.
Yes, sir.
It's different.
Yes, sir.
You can't control it.
Correct.
You know, so no, like his
Yes,
mom is tremendous. Like she don't say Pete.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
she yells at me when I don't yell at him.
Yes,
so
sir.
I have to yell at them because she
Yes,
tells
sir.
me to. But they're great. The Wagner family, everyone should be proud. We should be supportive.
Yes,
But
sir.
the biggest thing about him, man, and the whole family is they want to win.
Yes, sir. That's
Wani,
the
first
greatest.
thing he said to me, not that he don't want to break his record. Obviously, he wants your kids to be better than you.
Absolutely.
But I'd rather have him win state championships than break my records. And
Yes,
that's just going to show you what type of family they come from. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
great.
Yes, it's great to have that support. So as we wind down this conversation, I know the community is going to love it. Is there anything that you want to say that you would like to have the opportunity that, you know, if you think about it, I wish I would have said this to the Camden community because as I stated, you know, we're fortunate to have someone of your caliber here to coach our kids because it's important because a lot of time in the urban environment, you know, people run from this kind of responsibility and we know that when we come to the basketball games, the kids are going to play hard, they're going to be respectful, and they're going to be respected, and that's why we try to do our part as parents, community members, community leaders, you know, civic leaders, to make sure that you have the space to do what it is that you do.
So, the only thing I would say is, like, I have this look on my face where I don't want no one to talk to me. I'm yelling and screaming up and down the sideline, but like, please, if you see me, like, I'm approachable, especially these lifers, these people who love Camden.
Yes, sir.
Come up to me. I want to know the history. Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
And the best thing, and I'm not, like I've always been taught to be level, talk emotions, right?
Yes, sir.
And I told my Camden High crew, those teachers, and guidance counselors over there, when they make that chant, that you want to hide,
Yes, sir.
I get goosebumps.
Yes,
I want
sir.
it louder.
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing.
Yes, sir.
Louder. I want everyone doing it.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
like that? Like it's like if you see my face when they started, I
Yes,
start smiling. Like,
Yes, sir.
I've never experienced nothing like that. So,
Yes, sir.
But I love being here, man. It's great. You know, I just hopefully the people trust in what I'm doing, and the kids still believe what I'm doing, and hopefully we can keep this going.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach Brunson, thank you
Thanks, man.
for your time.
Appreciate
and
it.
We definitely appreciate you coming here and taking your time on this day. So there you have it, community. This is one of the first, it probably won't be our last conversation with Coach Rick Brunson, who I think is a exceptional coach and exceptional human being, as you can see now. And what he brings to the community of Camden is what a lot of people may overlook, but we don't overlook it. And when we want a chance to give somebody their roses while they doing well with us, because we know sometimes when things ain't going right, you know, in this arena, things can change so much. But what is most important is that our kids are getting an opportunity, getting an experience, and we'll take it from there. So please tune in again for another episode of the Wasim Muhammad Show. I am so grateful and proud. And as one great man always saying to us, and as leaders and role models in the community, what have you done for Camden today? Thank you.